Because of Caitlin Clark, who appears to be breaking a record every other week, the Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA, is experiencing a historic season with incredible fan involvement and record-breaking viewership figures. In particular, the inclusion of Caitlin Clark for the 2024 WNBA All-Star Game illustrates the surge in popularity of the female professional basketball league. Popularity brought about by shocking election results. The following is a synopsis of the ways in which the Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA, is gaining popularity this season, as well as what to anticipate from the league in the future record. Causing damage during the 2023 NBA All-Star Game, the number of fans who voted for the WNBA All-Star Game topped previous records. The top 11 players in the league participated in the voting. This year, the All-Star fan poll received a total of 70222 votes. The stunning number of 7,735 votes that Caitlin Clark garnered nearly doubled the total number of votes that were cast for the top players in the previous year. It is noteworthy that A.A. Wilson received 95,360 votes, making him the player that received the most votes in 2023. The unparalleled amount of viewership numbers are a result of the exponential increase in fan interest and participation. And much anticipated battle between Caitlin Clark of the Indiana Fever and Diana Taurasi of the Phoenix Mercury attracted an astounding amount of viewership, which contributed to the Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA, setting new viewing records this season. A Fever that is W8,882. In a game that took place on June 30th and had an average viewership of 1.9 million, making it one of the most viewed WNBA games in the history of the league. The only game that was able to top it was the matchup between the Fever and the Chicago Sky on June 23rd, which had a viewership of 2.32 million.
Viewers the most in the past 23 years, the Fever Mercury game drew 7 million viewers, a noteworthy figure for a cable exclusively broadcast. Considerable viewership growth, the increase in viewing continues beyond these major contests, according to Vox, the average viewership on cable television.
This spike is part of a larger trend of growing interest in women's sports and increasing exposure for the WNBA, as well as anticipating new records to be set by the WNBA All-Star Game during the previous season. The number of WNBA games that have been shown on ESPN has increased significantly from 440,000 in 2023 to 1.440 million this season. Considering the present trends, the game achieved a new viewing record of 850,000 with a peak of 95,000 showing up. The All-Star Game that will take place this year is likely to surpass those figures, which will further reinforce the WNBA's position as a significant participant in the world of sports. The future of the WNBA and the WNBA's meteoric rise are both discussed in this article. Also, the phenomenon of popularity is more than just a passing trend. It is indicative of a bigger shift in the sports scene, with exceptional rookie players such as Clark and Angel Reese garnering enormous crowds and giving entertaining performances. The league is in a position to achieve success over the long run. The rise in the number of viewers and the involvement of fans. The Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA, will continue to break down boundaries and achieve new milestones, indicating that basketball's future is bright and inclusive. This is a demonstration of the WNBA's growing importance and respect for the skill and entertainment value it delivers. As we look ahead, the WNBA will continue to have a positive impact on the game of basketball. That All-Star Game Indiana Fever rookie Caitlin Clark stated that she would partake in the three-point contest challenge at the 2024 WNBA All-Star Weekend remains to be seen. We'll see. I don't know. I haven't decided. I don't know. I haven't decided. I don't know. But I don't know. I don't know. Per Chloe Peterson of the Independent Star, Clark made a statement on Friday on competing. Clark was selected to be a member of the roster for the National Basketball Association's All-Star Game on Tuesday. The game is scheduled to take place in Phoenix, Arizona, over the weekend of July 20th. I can't give you guys every answer today. Alongside Chicago Sky Angel Reese, Clark was one of 2 rooks to be named to the All-Star team. Clark received almost 700,000 votes from fans, making him the most popular nominee overall. A group in February, Sabrina Ionescu, a member of the New York Liberty, won the 2023 three-point competition with 37 points, so creating records for both the WNBA and the NBA. In April, she also competed in a one-on-one three-point contest with Stephen Curry, a prominent player for the Golden State Warriors. Shams Tania, a member of the Sports and Stadium Departments, proposed. It is possible that Clark may be a part of a future three-point duel between Ionescu and Curry. Karania has stated that the rematch is extremely likely to take place. Clark, who recently surpassed Curry's single-season NCAA record with more than 162 three-pointers for Iowa in 2023-24, would be a good possibility for the next edition of the event. Clark is currently a member of the squad that is competing in the competition. She now has a shooting percentage of 33.7% from beyond the arc, and she leads all rookies with an average of 2.75 three-pointers made in 21 games. RK, who is also a fellow All-Star, is the only player that behind Clark in the WNBA rankings. Kelsey Ogunbologun, the Plumé, McBride, Kayla. In the event that Clark competes, she would be up against fierce opposition from either the reigning champion, Ionescu or Ogunbol. Ionescu and Diana Taurasi are currently in the lead for the league. The player that now holds the league record for most three-pointers made per game is Mitchell, who is Clark's former teammate. Who participated in the three-point challenge in 2018 and 2023 will be another player to keep an eye on as the WNBA prepares the field for the competition, however. All of this talk about Clark being an excellent rook has brought to our attention something that came to our attention approximately 10 years ago when the WNBA was in the process of preparing the field for the competition. Two rookies were the focus of attention during the All-Star game in Phoenix. One of them had been selected as the #1 pick in the draft, and the other heard her name mentioned barely inside the top 10. Sounds familiar. 10 years later, history appears to be repeating itself as the All-Star game is scheduled to take place in Phoenix on July 20th. In Phoenix, where Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, two rookies in this year's #1 and #7 picks, respectively, will headline Team WNBA, the league's emphasis will shift. This will be the first All-Star game featuring two rookies since 2014, and it will take place with less than 2 weeks before the season begins. During the All-Star and Olympic break, take a look at how the rookies are standing up Angel. Sky for Reese in Chicago, 13. 2-point score per game, 11. 8 rebounds for every goal scored, field goals with a proportion of 39.5%. The Rookie of the Month award for June went to Reese. The month after she scored a double-double in all but one of the Sky games, her rebounding totals this season have been phenomenal. She leads the league in rebounds per game with 11.8, and she leads the league in offensive rebounds per game with 4.8, but she has been struggling to get back on track. As the season draws closer to its halfway point, it is difficult not to draw comparisons between Reese's career start and Tina Charles's in 2010. Charles still holds the record for the most rebounds grabbed by a rookie in a regular season. Reese has been the most productive player in the past 2 weeks, collecting at least 15 rebounds in 4 of her last 5 games. Her average number of rebounds per game was 11, 7, and she had 8 games in which she had 15 or more rebounds. It is possible that Reese will surpass that mark if she has a strong finish to the first half and if she maintains her success when the game starts in August. The Indiana Fever 16 is affecting Caitlin Clark. 1 point for each game, 7 assists, and 5.5 rebounds per game during the team's game against the Seattle Storm last week. Clark made history by becoming the fastest player in the history of the Women's National Basketball Association to reach 300 points, 100 baskets, and 100 rebounds. That helps during the game against the Phoenix Mercury on Sunday. She finished with 15 points, which allowed her to set a new mark for the most assists in a rookie season for the Hot franchise. 12 assists and 9 rebounds overall, despite the fact that Clark was selected for her first All-Star team just a few minutes before the start of Tuesday's game against the Las Vegas Aces. She was still able to. Clark is still a crucial rebounder for the Fever. Since June 14th, she has averaged 4.9 rebounds per game, which ranks 6th among all WNBA guards. This is Indiana's 13th loss, and she posted her 6th double-double. Her passing and scoring continue to thrill, and she continues to be an exciting player. Exactly what are your anticipations for the All-Star game? And now Clark comes up with a steal. Clark thought about pulling up from 3, will drop inside, which Caitlin Clark handles exactly. Here she crosses sides of the floor. She gets her hips and shoulders past Laney, and she will live up to expectations, and will Clark be the one to come through for the team? A brilliant star within it. I would appreciate it if you could share your opinions with me in the comments section below. Take a look at this career first, take a step back and move to the right. I might also mention that Caitlin Clark is the one who typically gets the switch on the screen tiny. One of the few occasions this season that Caitlin Clark has appeared. We have witnessed her obtaining an open D Carrington. Just have a peek.